This is an exercise in imagination, reason, logic, and prophecy. Now, y'all know I'm from Alabama, right? Are y'all aware of the impact that American football has on college football has on American citizens? Are you aware of what it's like in Alabama?
Intense.
It's a disease. Yeah. Do you know who the highest paid person in Alabama is?
Football coach.
Nick Saban. Coach. Does that tell you something? Now, the other team there, the main rival, is Auburn. Auburn University. We have Auburn jokes there, Melanie. Now in Texas, they have Aggie jokes. There's Texas and Texas A&M, Texas Aggies. Now, I don't know whether the Aggie jokes start there in Texas and migrate across the Mississippi, but when they're in Alabama, they're Auburn jokes. So here's these two Auburn guys that's discussing what they're going to take next session in school. One said, I just signed up for that new course, Auburn's Often in Logic. His friend said, what's that? He said, look, I can learn a great deal about you in a relatively short period of time with just a few basic questions and the use of logic. For instance, do you own a weed eater? Yeah. Well, logic tell me you're a homeowner. Yeah. Logic tell me you're probably married. Yeah. Logic tell me that you might have children. Yeah, we have two. He said, well, logic tell me you're heterosexual. So you see how it works? I said, yeah, I'm going to take that course too. He signed up. A few days later, he met somebody, just signed up that new course, Auburn's Often in Logic. The guy said, what's that? He said, look, I can learn a great deal about you in a relatively short period of time with just a few basic questions and the use of logic. For instance, do you own a weed eater? No. Logic tell me you're probably homosexual. Wayne, he took a little bit of information and he reached an absurd conclusion. Now, if there's a business out there that treated that way, it's life insurance. Now, Jesse, that's what you know very well, don't you? Because that's what A.L. Williams did. He took a little bit of information and he reached an absurd conclusion and he got extremely wealthy off of milking other folks. Yeah.
Sure did.
Yeah. You see, when I first put all this together and finally got around to writing my book, a marketer called on me. I did not call on him. About 3 sessions over a period of several weeks, he finally says, I can make you very wealthy, but you got to be willing to compromise yourself. Tell half-truths. Does the name Dave Ramsey mean anything to y'all? He tells half-truths. He lives in a $7 million house. What the marketer said was absolutely true.
He also owns life insurance.
Say again?
He also owns life insurance.
Yeah, but that's just it. They say one thing and do quite
Do another.
All right.
By the way, A.L. Williams said buy term and invest the difference. He didn't sell term insurance. He sold minimum premium UL.
Yeah, right, yeah, right, yes. That's right. Yeah, but that's, but people, just like Megan showed you there a while ago, people love to believe lies. Yeah. They are hoping that it's true. In fact, did y'all understand that Wall Street is totally addicted to drugs?
Yes.
It's called hopium. ever read anything by P.J. O'Rourke, golly, take that down, guys. That's fun reading. Anything P.J. O'Rourke writes is fun. He used to be a hippie, Bob, but he was walking down the street one day in town, and he saw his reflection in the window, and he said, "Why am I doing this?" Look, his economics is perfect. Yeah. But he wrote this book, P.J. O'Rourke. P.J. O'Rourke. But particularly read his book, Eat the Rich. Eat the Rich. Anyway, he calls Wallstreet the greater fool theory. So the guy, he buys something, he hopes he'll find somebody to pay more money for it. That guy hopes he'll find somebody to pay more money for it. And finally, he reaches the biggest fool of all, and he comes crashing down. By the way, I read something here recently. Y'all familiar with Eastman Kodak Company? Mm-hmm. Do you know they had 170,000 employees? In about 3 years' time, it was all gone, and it's all because of that iPhone you have. Yeah. Yeah, but nobody talks about that at Wallstreet, do they? Amazing. All right, Einstein said imagination was more important than knowledge or ability. Coming from him, that means something to me, Jesse. Let's work on the imagination. Back in the late 1700s, this German schoolmaster was having trouble with his boys. They were rowdy. 7-year-olds. Anybody got experience with 7-year-olds? All right, you know what he's talking about. He wanted to do two things: quiet them down and punish them. Gave them a problem. Add up all the numbers 1 through 100. Kids got down that slate, started working on the problem. One little kid wasn't participating. He just sat there staring out the window. Presently, he picks up his slate, writes down a number, turns it in. Would you believe? He was the only one who had the right answer. All the other kids had wrong answers. Schoolmaster took note of that. "Son, how'd you do that?" He says, "Sir, I visualized a line. I had one on one end, 100 on the other. In the middle was 50. I cut it here. I flipped this over here. I had two lines. I had 1 through 50. I had 51 through 100. Those added up to 101. These did too. So 51 and 49 added up to 101. 99 and 2 added up to 101. So does all the other combinations in between. Don't they? Well, how many sets do you have? You got 50. And anybody multiply 50 times 101 in your head? My word, how simple does it get? That's ridiculously simple, Jesse. And it's absolutely accurate. The young man got special tutoring from that point on. He became one of the 3 greatest mathematicians who ever lived. His name was Carl Gauss. Bob, Carl Gauss did not invent that. No. God invented it. It was always there. Well, why didn't these other guys see it? Why didn't the professor know this? Why didn't the other kids know this? It's all because of the way they think. Yeah. See, this entire concept is about how do you think. That's the title of the next book I'm working on. It's all about how you think. Yeah. One of these days I'll get around to it and finish it. But I've got about 8 chapters I've done so far. Now, we got to have an examination from time to time, Will. This is a class. Got to have exam every once in a while, right? Will, somebody gives you the job of adding 1 through 100. Do you realize that now that you know what you know, all you got to do is take the middle number here and put the same number beside it. See that? Isn't that simple? Will, add up 1 through 1,000 right quick.
Add up what?
Add up 1 through 1,000. What's the middle number? Somebody tell me.
1,000,001,000.
No. 1 through 1,000.
1?
1 through 1,000. What's the middle number? Halfway between 1 and 1,000.
500.
Well, put 500 beside it. What you got?
500, 500.
Oh, okay. Isn't that simple? Is it accurate?
Yeah.
All right. Richard, 1 through 1 million. What's the middle number?
500 or 500,000.
Well, put 500,000 beside that, that's 500,500,000, isn't it?
Mhm.
Is that accurate?
Mhm.
It's simple. There's all kind of things like that actually out there that people don't see. It's because of the way they think. It's always been there.
I can't wait till somebody asks me that question again and I'll get the answer.